morning, everybody. Okay, let's do a form. We haven't been through the whole form in a long time, so let's do that. Catherine, why don't you lead us
What do you mean the whole form?
from beginning to end?
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay, then I'll lead. All right.
Thank you.
If you don't know the whole form, just watch. It's okay. It gives you a lay of the land. Catherine, did you not learn the whole thing?
Never.
Okay. Jill, where are you in the sequence?
Well, I was just at the cusp of having the 24 down 5 years ago. And let's just say a few things happened, and I have not practiced the full 24.
Okay.
It was actually some doing just to get the first 6 moves of the form back in my head.
Well, we've really been focusing on the first section. There are 4 sections in this form, each have 6 moves. We've been focusing on that because I really wanted to talk about the principles. Because if you don't understand the principles, all you're really doing is just waving your arms in the air. If you've got the principles, then you can sort of start to fill things in. However, it's also good to just learn the form, right, and actually move. So, Carlos, I know you either learned the whole form.
I did the first section and the 4th section. So I started off the 4th, did the first, and then we ended. But going through it this time, understanding the concepts makes it a lot easier to remember for me.
Yes, I totally understand. That's when the first form I learned, I did exactly the same thing. I finished the last half and then had to go back and fill in the first half. Okay. So there was one thing I wanted to say that I was thinking about yesterday. I think some of you were here yesterday and some of you weren't. But yesterday we were talking about using the central axis to spin. And I should have said, and it would be nice to have a push hands partner in here, but I'll work with my invisible push hands partner. Have you met him? Have you met my invisible? Here he is. He's a great guy. He just does everything I want him to do.
Wait, what's his name?
His name's Bob.
Okay.
Bob. All right. So if you see the movie What About Bob, you'll know what it's about. 2 things. Spinning on your axis is probably changing your weight and spinning on your axis is probably the #1 thing that you do in Tai Chi as a martial art. Of course, you do a million other things, but most of it is based on that foundation. And spinning on your axis can be done both for yang purposes and yin purposes. That is for offense and defense. So if I want to push somebody, all right, I'm not going to push them like this. All right? Watch the lower body. I'm going to use my whole body. There's a big spiral going through the whole body, pushing. That would be an offensive move. So that's a yang move. All right? I'm pushing my energy out from my dantian or from my body into something else. It could just as equally be a defensive move. So instead of pushing somebody, somebody's pushing me. All right? Well, what's the #1 thing you can do when they do that? It's just turn. Right? It pushes on you, just turn. Boom. Now, of course, there's a million other things you're going to be doing too. But it's all based on that idea of the turn. And it's the same turn. All right? So it can be offensive, right? It can be defensive. All right? Now, here's the trick. Other martial arts do this too. But Tai Chi really specializes in it. Look at the Tai Chi symbol. All right? And you'll see yin and yang folding in on each other. A way to interpret that in Tai Chi as a martial art is that your offense and your defense are the same move. And you're going, what? What do you mean? Let's say somebody comes up and pushes on me, right? So, boom, I'm going to be defensive. I'm just going to disappear out from underneath him. All right? If I just stay there, and try to resist him, now I've got a lot of pressure on me. But if I just disappear, he's just going to sort of fall over. That's the defensive side. But at the same time, you do the offensive side. So he's coming in, defense, offense, defense, offense, defense, offense. It's the same move. It's done from the same spiral. Make sense? Now, you're not always so lucky that you get that, but you train up, you train your body to quote unquote think in that way. It's not thinking up here, it's sort of thinking down here. You just get used to moving that way. If Annie was here, well, she's in the other room. She doesn't want to play, but you can imagine. Imagine you come in, you're facing me, and you push me. If you push on this shoulder, I'll just do it on this side. You push on this shoulder, right? I'll just turn. The shoulder exercises we do, right? All right, you can think of those as just pure Qigong. So it's about opening up the chest and the shoulder girdle and everything and moving your chi through it. Yes, all that's true, but it's also preparation for push-ins. Somebody comes up and pushes on you, release. Release. You're releasing, and what are they going to do? They're just going to fall over. So when someone comes up and pushes me, right, I'm probably going to give them a little resistance at first because I want them to commit more to the push. What I'd like them to do is to commit their weight to the push. If they're only sort of standing back and pushing, well, I don't really have them then because they're just sort of using their arm. But if they bring their body and their weight in, okay, now I can do something with them. So give them a little resistance to sucker them in, and then once you feel the weight moving forward onto the forward foot, then just release. All right? Even if they manage to stay on your body, they'll still be sort of a little discombobulated. And that's why your shove on the other side, right? Makes sense? So it's another way to look at the spirals that you're doing. One side of the spiral is defensive, but the other side of the spiral is offensive. So that's true for every exercise we do, but some of the exercises, it's a little more obvious, right? Escape, push, defensive, offensive. It's the same thing. It's running off the same engine. That's why those are such great exercises. All right, any questions? Okay, let's go back to the form and let's start working through the form. Okay, so I know that Catherine and Jill are probably pretty okay on the first section. Yes? First section, yeah? However, Carlos needs a refresher on the first section. So Carlos, we've been sort of fooling around with the first two moves in the last couple of weeks. Have you got those down? Can't hear you.
Yeah, right up to the end of the Buddha Pounds mortar.
Okay, Buddha's
don't really
voice.
know the lazy man Tai's code yet.
Okay, let's, I tell you what, why don't you lead the group in the first two moves, and then I can watch you and make sure that you're where you need to be.
right?
Good. Okay. Let's go on to the third move, and I'll do it a few times facing you, and then a few times with my back to you, and then we'll break it down into the parts of the move itself. Okay, so this is a I'm not going to do it for my back because you can't see anything. This is a long, complex move, and we're not gonna have enough time to get through everything today. We'll just take the first couple of parts of this. Um, the very first part of this move can be quite complex, but we're not going to do it the complex way. We're going to do it the simple way. All right. So I've done Buddha's warrior. I'm just standing here. And a bad guy is running at me from that quarter, not from straight ahead, not from 90 degrees, but from 45 degrees. And what I'm going to do is step out to meet him. Why do you want to step out? Because if you just stand there, he's going to knock you over. If you step out, now you've got the option of moving backward. All right? So I'm going to step out to meet him, and my hands are going to follow. And this might just be like a whip-like strike. Boom, right? Into his belly or his bladder or his other stuff, right? So you step out and this comes out. Now, when you do the form, just do it very softly. Right? You hardly even would notice it. Right? Step out, grab your hands together, right? And spin, and then come back to center. If you watch experienced players do this, you'll see kind of an abbreviated version of this. So it'll look like this. They don't even join their hands together until they're up at the top. And then they use their weight. Somebody's got hold of them. Somebody's holding on to them. They use their weight to jerk their hands out of the other guy's grasp. You should know that. Nevertheless, you play it really softly when you actually do the form. So just step out a little bit, come forward, circle, join the hands together, and snap back. Now, when you snap back, you're going to need to bring your right toes with you because we're going to start turning a little bit this direction. All right, Buddha's warrior, step out, swing forward, swing back, join the hands together, snap back, and bring your toes with you. Just a little bit. Right? Just so they're focused forward. And your hands are in a position called rocking the baby. All right, you're rocking the baby. All right, one more. I'm going to do it up closer. Relax. Step out. Swing. Join the hands together. Snap back and rock the baby. Now, the most important thing you got to get about any Tai Chi move, but especially this one, is where your weight is at every moment. So let's do the weights, all right, whether it's left foot or right foot. All right, all my weight's on the left. Now, all my weight's on the right. And left, and right, and left. Right? There's really no weight on this leg. All right? I'm just using my right leg. You could say your off leg is used for your balance and for turning, right? One more. Relax. All the weight left, right, left, right, and left. Okay. Jill, why don't you lead us in one of those?
You want me to call out the left, right?
Sure.
Okay. Right, left, right, left.
Good. And Catherine?
Yeah. Right. Right. Left. Right. Left.
Good.
Sorry. Let me do that again. It was messy.
Okay. All right, do it again.
Right. Left. Right. Left.
Yes. Good. All right, Carlos.
Right, right, left, right, and then left.
Good. Okay. The next move is a very subtle move. One of the things that's really subtle about it is the weight shift. So sometimes when you're doing weight shifts, it's really obvious, right? One leg is back, one leg is out. Yeah, you're really. But this part of the form, the middle part of the form, you're basically just standing there. So you're not going to see it very much. It's kind of left and right and then left again. It's very subtle. But it's really important to get these little moves in here. So let me just demonstrate this. Left, right, left, right, left. Now watch. Right, left, right. Right. Those moves, I wish Kevin were here because I could demonstrate them for you. This little move here went from rocking the baby to here, all right, is maybe the most vicious joint lock in the whole form. It doesn't look like much, but you can snap someone's wrist really, really quickly with this. Kevin, I've done it to you before, haven't I? He's thinking to himself, I wish I was there so he could do it again. Under, over. All right. Left, right. All right. Now, it's a very, very abbreviated kind of little introduction to that joint lock. It's a wrist lock. And it's a little hard to explain. I'm not even going to try to explain it. Just consider it a wrist lock, right? But just go very, very, very gently. Under, over, and you just think when you're doing the wrist lock, you're going to put your weight down a little bit on that guy. All right. Right, left, right, left, right. All right. And you're going to use your weight on the right side. So the right quad. I should put my quad on because this whole middle part of the, I mean, you always use your quad, but there's sometimes it's just really, if you forget about it, you're not going to be doing the move. All right. Watch the blue stripe. Close. You're closing here, and that's what allows you to close with your hands. You're not using your shoulders and your arms. You're using your trunk. All right. Now, the next part of the move, you want to hit this guy over here. All right. His evil twin brother is running up. Now you want to hit this guy. All right. So he's got the drop on you. He's going to hit you first. So you block. Block. All right. Now, we don't usually block all the way up there. You just sort of raise one hand a little bit. It's just a little indication. All right. And you wind up to the left again, and then you block down while you hit him. Rock the baby. Wrist lock, block, wind up, and hit. One more. Step out, circle, snap back, rock the baby, wrist lock, block, and hit. Let's do the weights. I think you can see it's your weight shift that's powering all this. And it's not a big shift. And it's, you're not shifting like this. It's very subtle. Just shifting your weight. Right? But if you shift your weight, block, boom, right? You can get some power out of it. So, all right, Buddha's warrior, you're on your left. Step out to the right, circle to the left. Back to the right, snap back to the left and rock the baby. Circle and come around to the right again for the wrist lock. Block going to the left. Hit going to the right. Questions? All right, that's probably as far as we can get today. Let's do it in the same sequence we did before. So Jill, Catherine, and then Carlos. So Jill, why don't you do that whole section there?
I will give it a go. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Oh,
No, I was thinking as she was doing this, I was thinking about telling you guys, I know this just seems like a little piece of a move, and it is just a little piece of a move, but you guys should practice it 100 times between now and next weekend. So you don't have to think about it anymore. For one thing, if you get this rhythm down, it will really help you for everything else in the form.
Mhm.
So Jill, when you run into a play, of course I know we're all watching you, so you get a little stage fright. But when you run up against, okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing, go back and analyze it,
Mhm.
right? When you step out, it's really obvious. You're stepping out, boom, you're going to hit the guy. You step out, and then you pull back, and then you push forward, and now you snap back. And now I'm on the left. If I'm going to do a joint lock on some guy, I can't do it with my weight backward, and my weight has to be forward. Boom. All right. You use your weight to do this. Now I want to hit this guy. If you want to hit forward, what's the first thing you want to do?
Move back.
Move backward. Exactly. All right. So you go back so you can go forward again. Boom. So there's a very simple logic to all this stuff, and work your way through it yourself, because then it'll be yours instead of just somebody telling you what to do.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, I have never quite gotten the whole, it's just like what
Think-
is actually, the shinyi of what's happening with the hand.
Well,
That's where I got lost.
think of it this way. You're turning your dan chin,
Mhm.
right? The first part of the right, let me put my dan chin on here. But just remember, this is just a symbol, right? Your dan chin is this whole thing. So you turn it under and forward. Now you're going to roll the dan chin this way, and that's what's going to power this. And now you keep rolling, and you roll under, and boom. The boom, your hands are like this. All right? So you're rocking the baby and then joint lock. So you're starting like this, and then you twist your hands like this. So you start with both palms facing up, and then you end with the right palm facing left and the left palm facing right. All right? Now, I should tell you, just so you know, this boom right here is a place where an application is modified to fit into the form better. The form is the form. It is not a bunch of applications. I talk about the applications just to give you something to hang on to, right? In fact, if you're really doing this, it has to be like this, not like this. But we're not really doing it. We're not practicing applications. We're practicing the form. That's something different. It's preparation, it's foundation. Make sense?
Mhm.
There are a few places in the form where there is a real change between application and form. And if you are very application minded and you have a lot of background in the martial arts and in wrestling and things, you might mentally run into that and go, wait a minute, this just doesn't feel right. And you may be right. It may not be right as far as martial applications go, but it's right for the form. It's easier for the form.
I'm on a tight schedule today, so I'm gonna have to leave.
Okay, good. Practice 100 times. See you next
Yes,
Saturday.
will do. Okay,
Ciao.
bye-bye. Ciao.
Okay, Catherine, why don't you lead us in one?
Okay. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yes, good. Good. One of the reasons you want to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice this is to get it so deeply in your body that you don't think about it anymore. Your body knows it. Then, once your body knows it, then something else starts to happen. Then you can start to play with it a little bit. So, for instance, 99.9% of people who ever do this move, all right, when they get here, they don't think about the blocking. They just come around and they wind up and they hit. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you've really got this move down so you don't have to be engaged with thinking about it all the time, right, then you can just play with this. Right? You can really block. You can block and then hit, right, which is really what it is. Or you can just sort of sketch it in, which is what most people do. You just sketch it in. It's so small. If you go to China, so I know Catherine will probably want to go to China and enter a tournament there someday. When you enter the tournament, you're going to have at least one judge, if not three judges, watching you and giving you scores, right? Now watch. There's one way to do it. There is a second way to do it. The second way to do it is going to get more points. Because believe me, these judges know every inch of these forms. They've done them themselves a million times. So they can read you like a book. They know exactly what you're thinking and exactly where you're at with this. And right, what will impress them is just a tiny little movement that says, I know that's a block. I'm not going to hide behind it. I'm not going to do that much, but I know it's a block. There's another reason to do it. It can be actually more than a block. This is some guy's arm. All right? Some guy's arm. He's coming in, he's gonna smack you. Maybe it's a backhand like that. He's gonna smack you. You catch it, pull it down across your butt. It's already coming in this direction, so it's easy to pull it down across, right? And smack. You smack him in the neck or the head. Right? Now watch the form. Think about that. Watch the form. Catch his hand, pull it down across your body, smack him upside the head. If the judge sees you using both sides of your body, you're going to get a higher score than if you're just using one side of your body. It's exactly what I was saying at the beginning of this session. Half your body is going to be doing something defensive and the other half is going to be doing something offensive. This is defensive. Trying to keep the guy from smacking you. So you catch him and you guide him out and down. So now he's a little bit like that. And then your other hand comes up and whacks him in the head. Boom. All right? Now, you don't have to, when you do the form, you shouldn't be salivating and looking for blood. All right? You should be very calm when you do this. But what you're practicing is, feel this inside, guys. Watch. Watch. Close. 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 Open. Close. Open. That's what you're actually practicing. The forms were invented so that you could practice the internals without displaying the externals. Why did they not want to display the externals? Because people were always watching you. They're trying to steal your stuff. You're out in the park in Beijing and you're blah, blah, blah. Oh, people can watch you. Now they can figure out what you're really doing. Instead, you just don't go out like that. You just sketch it, just a little sketch. But inside, you're doing the same thing you would need to do to power the full outside movement. Does that make sense, Kevin? All right, any questions? All right, practice 100 times between now and next Saturday. Have a good day, guys. Ciao.